Okay, so we'll just wait for people to join. Good morning. We're just about to get started in a few minutes, just waiting for a few more people to join. Thank you. Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. I thought best to get started on introductions. I always love a few people joining in. My name is Joyce Harmon and I'm a consultant at Hart Square. And I'm delighted to have with me this morning Daniel and Francisco from Amazon Web Services, who are going to be our main presenters for today. So if I just say, Daniel, if you could just quickly say hello and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you.
My name is Daniel Borges Perez. I'm solution architect for Amazon Web Services.
Hi, everyone. My name is Francisco. I'm also an AWS solutions architect.
Great. So very quickly, just going to, sorry. Just quickly about Hart Square, don't worry, I'm not going to expect you to read all of this in detail or go through it, but really just to say Hart Square, we are an independent consultancy practice and we only work in the non-for-profit space. So work with a large number of membership bodies, charities, trade unions, and various organizations of different sizes. And one of the points which we'll come on to later is around that we carry out a number of surveys and analysis every year as part of the work that we do in the sector. Just to quickly cover the etiquette for this morning, to say that this session will be recorded. We will be providing slides afterwards, so you don't need to be worried about frantically taking notes. And we will also be providing a survey, which we would ask you to fill in afterwards. This is very much for feedback. It really gives us a great insight of how we can improve and other elements that are of interest to you. With regard to questions that you may have during the session, which we do encourage, we would ask you to use the QA box for anything related to the content or anything you wish to ask the presenters. If you have any technical issues or technical questions or problems, if you could please use the chat function. And as I say, my colleagues are waiting in the background to deal with any questions or any issues that you might have. And also, if I could just ask that your microphone is muted throughout the session. So as I've said, Hart Square, we carry out a number of surveys, and from some of the webinars that we've been running recently, one of the questions that we were asking people was around, what are the challenges faced by this sector right now? And interesting enough, furloughing of staff was really quite small. But the biggest issues really are around supporter or member engagement or communicating with members and supporters. So, the whole issue of, how do you keep business running as usual? How do you keep engaging with people? Obviously, loss of revenue and donations is still a really big factor and is a concern. But interestingly, the engagement piece came up a lot more. We also asked what is the biggest challenge being faced with remote working. And again, that is very much around, the biggest one was keeping employees motivated and, tracking, work and productivity. So again, this whole thing of, how do you keep continuity within the business? How do you keep the organization running and keeping people motivated? And then also from that, we asked, what are the most widely used methods of communication throughout this period. Interestingly enough, the ones that we expect, the traditional email, website and social media were the highest scoring. If we had have done this survey, say a year ago, webinars really rarely came up, and obviously that is very much a result of sort of the times that we are in now. And also website has come up a lot more as well. And again, that is because everybody's now sort of working in the virtual world. So some interesting stats around that, but we will be carrying out a number of poll questions throughout today's session. So we would very much ask you to, to respond to those to see possibly, how things have changed since then. So now I'm going to hand over to Daniel from AWS, who's going to take you through the first part of the presentation. So over to you, Daniel.
All right, thank you very much. So I will start my screen share here. Hold on. You can see my screen, right? Okay. Very good. All right. Hello, everyone. Well, my name is Daniel Bolosa Perez. I'm solution architect for public sector, and today we're gonna present about Amazon Workspaces, Amazon Chime, and Amazon Connect, and how these services can help you out for remote working solutions. Today is presenting with me Francisco Gonzalez as well, solution architect for public sector. Well, I will go through the slides, and then we will have some questions in the middle that they are related with the poll. So I will hand over to Joyce when we have these questions, so you can answer them, and then we will discuss the results in the end. So this is the agenda today. So we're gonna go talk about a AWS service credit offer and Amazon Workspaces, Amazon Chime, and Amazon Connect. So AWS is offering a courtesy workshop to help new customers to get started in the cloud journey. There's 6 use case specific workshops to choose from. For example, we can work with you to deploy a managed desktop as a service solution with Amazon Workspaces, which we'll cover this in this presentation, and or launch an online learning management sites with Moodle, for example. And workshops run from 2 to 5 days, depending on the workloads. And AWS service credits will be provided for this purpose. So the AWS partner will provide an initial $500 in AWS credits to our new customers for 30 days. But we also have additional credit programs to support longer periods of unpaid usage for nonprofit organizations that we can discuss with you. If you are interested in taking up this offer, please complete the poll at the end of this presentation, and we will contact you to discuss this further and arrange your complimentary workshop. So handing over to Joyce, this is the first question of the poll.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm just going to launch the first poll. Okay, so you should now all be able to see the poll. If I could ask attendees to vote, that would be very helpful. Okay, so I'm now just going to end the polling. Thank you very much. And if I share the results, interesting to see that the transition to working from home, 2 very distinct ones, sort of between easy and disruptive, but done, which I think is is quite positive to say that everybody's now sort of getting on with things. So that's quite good. Thank you. So if I now hand back Daniel to you.
Thank you very much. So let me continue. Hold on 1 second. Okay, let's start with Amazon Workspaces. Amazon Workspaces is an AWS service that offers you provisional and managed desktops in the cloud. So the ability to deploy them with Windows 10 on Amazon or Amazon Linux, plus with BYOL options. Access to these desktops from any device, anywhere using a web browser or a client application is an option for Amazon Workspaces, depending from where you are accessing from. You can keep your data secure, streaming your desktop through your client using AES 256 encryption and options to encrypt all data and rest. You can isolate your environment and selecting the locking down options to upload and download that data and keep your environment safe. So let's talk about what is the current environment from most of our customers, and why some of the strategies are not working for them. So let's talk about first personal computers. That traditional inventory is hard to manage and maintain. They do not enforce secure endpoints for secure data transmission. Bringing your own device is complicated, so the data must be backed up, and you need to refresh between every 3 to 5 years. So another strategy is using on-premises VDI. It requires a capital expense or investment to implement this. It takes weeks or months to deploy, requires management or an overhead, and it's very expensive. And regarding storage, there is no central location of storage, so limited control of what the users can store. Collaboration in a central location is not possible, and they are hard to secure locally. So Amazon Workspace is a pay-as-you-go model, so you pay only for the number of users that use the solution month to month. It's very simple to deploy and manage using API or SDKs. It's very simple to script and integrate with Service Catalog, and you can manage those assets to rebuild or rebuild or reboot from the customer side or the users that will use Workspaces, or you can only grant this privilege to the IT administrators. They are secure, use TeraDigi PCO IP, encryption in transit. So the protocol is streaming the desktop audio and everything else from the workspaces, and the mouse movements and the keyboards goes up. So there is an encrypted data stream over the service interface, and we have an option to fully encrypt the data at rest. And finally, you can scale and keep your consistent performance using these options. Where we see use cases, more organizations like globally for mobile workers, especially enabling employees to work from home due to this recent outbreak of COVID-19. We're seeing a large number of organizations increasing the numbers of services allowing customers to work remotely. So examples like Johnson & Johnson that deploy more than 25,000 workspaces globally to enable remote work for their employees. Other scenarios are temporary workers, contractors, and using this for training platforms. Anyway, you are using full desktop, you are going to start with few cases to extend where the workspace can fit. Workspaces play well with existing tools. It will work with your internet access. It integrates directly with an Active Directory, either if you choose to deploy your own directory, or if you want to integrate with AD connector with your existing directory. We offer options to work with multi-factor authentication. We recommend to use this option very strongly. It will work with management tools like a regular desktop, like SCCM or liquid wire solutions for profile and application management. And also we offer certificate authority integration if it's required. We're ready to meet security and compliance needs. As I said, managed access to workspaces can be restricted using digital certificates. We are PCI DSS Level 1 compliant, SOC 1, SOC 2, ISO 9001, and 27001. It's HIPAA eligible if you have a business associate and agreement, and we are all the services from AWS are GDPR compliant. We have 2 billion options. The first one will be mostly that we call also always on. So it's best for like full-time stuff. So this means that the workspace is always in a running state, and connecting to workspaces, it will take only between like 3 to 5 seconds when you start the client or you're using the web client. And it's a good option for like permanent users that they need to have constant access to this desktop. So for example, you can start the job using, for example, a data warehouse into Tableau to use a data transform. You can start the job, walk away to your home, and then connect to the same desktop and check your status. And then we have the other option that is called auto stop or hourly, that basically you pay a small fee for the desktop that is every month, that is like much smaller than the always on, and then you will pay only for every hour that the workspace is used. So in this case, for example, is recommended for users that they're gonna use it less than 82 hours per month. We offer a cost optimizer to determine if which shopping will be the best one for you, depending on the kind of users you have. At the moment, we have Amazon Workspaces available in 12 regions, and three regions like Ireland, Frankfurt, and London, it's available at the moment in Europe. Here we have a customer success story. Is Yamaha. Yamaha told us that about that no investment was required to deploy Amazon Workspaces in advance. As a consequence, they were retiring their on-premises VDI solution entirely and then moving to Amazon Workspaces for their solution to bring to their employees for remote access to the company. So handing over to Joyce, we have the second question for the poll here.
Yeah, thank you. So let me. So I just launched the polling. So which is what has been the biggest challenge in moving off site. So if I just give you a moment or two, if you could submit your votes, please. Great, thank you very much. Okay, I think yeah, interesting, sort of changing at the last minute. Okay, so I'm just going to end the polling now and share those results. So interesting seeing when the polling comes in. First of all, it was looking like it was going to be very much providing equipment to its staff. But definitely the main one has been around staff's technical confidence. So I think that's quite interesting. So now if I hand back over, thank you.
Right, thank you, Joyce. Hold on 1 second. Okay, now we're going to cover Amazon Chime. Amazon Chime is a fully modern, fully managed communication service from AWS that make it easy to you to communicate with people inside or outside your organizations using voice, video, and chat. So considering the current scenario, more and more people is working from home and working remotely. So normally 43% of the employees work remotely at least sometimes. So Amazon Chime is an ideal tool for collaboration and productivity across multiple devices. It's no longer a place, it's like a function. So people need access from all type of devices like mobile, desktop, etc. Meetings are just more like audio and video. They're about content, workflow, process. So meeting tools must be there to address all these things. So it's difficult to find people who actually like technology and they use for meetings today. So most meetings and applications today are hard to use, and some of them, they don't deliver very good quality audio and require constant switching between multiple tools to do everything you want. So let's talk about what the customer were telling us. They're telling about like traditional tools have complicated and expensive licensing. When there are too many tools, it gets complicated and gets really expensive very, very fast. Tools are very frustrating to use. People often have to switch between tools, and there isn't a great mobile experience. And switching from one device to another means you have to rejoin a meeting or leave and rejoin again. So with Amazon Chime, online meetings are easier and more efficient, so you keep focus on the discussion. You can use Amazon Chime for online meetings and video conferencing, voice calls, voice chats, and also share content all from the same easy to use application that can be used from a thick client or for a website as well. And let's talk about the main points of this collaboration tool. You can create and host online meetings across cross-platform, enable audio and video conferencing with no additional steps, and allow your guests to join your meeting through the application by toll-free phone options as well. Amazon Chimes integrates seamlessly with Microsoft Outlook. So we have a Microsoft Outlook plugin that allows you to create a Chime meeting directly from Outlook when you are booking, when sending a meeting request. it adds the meeting information to how to join via web or using the Chime client, or also dialing in by phone. So it adds Chimes to as a recipient. So it will notify automatically, the Chime client will notify you automatically 1 minute before the meeting, so you can join it. And it's fully compatible with Office 365 and all desktop versions of Office. So some of the options is free, allows you to do free VoIP calls with low cost and toll-free numbers if no VoIP is available. So chime into conversations and focus on discussion. It has noise canceling wideband audio to deliver clear host HD video and audio quality. So it has free custom voice over IP technology, and we have more than 80 countries that we have toll and toll-free numbers as an option if you don't want to use the audio from your computer. It is designed also to use like poor quality networks like 3G or Wi-Fi that it doesn't have a stable connection, and minimize sound loss, and so you don't need to repeat yourself, and optimizes the audio. And it optimizes again for low mobile bandwidth usage as well. We have Amazon Chime in most of the AWS regions available at the moment. You can take a look in AWS website for all the regions specifically, but it can be used globally, but you can host your meetings in one of the regions that we specify here. So closest to where you are hosting your meeting, you will have less latency as well as all your attendees. So for example, we recommend to create, in this case, talking about Europe, you can create meetings in Paris, in London, in Ireland as well. And it will have like less than 20 milliseconds of latency creating and hosting meetings. So Amazon Chime is an AWS service which allows you to benefit from data center and network architecture. So it's built to meet requirements from most security sensitive organizations. It's AES 256-bit encryption. So it allows you to enable CloudTrace to trace back all the actions and operations in your environments. Has the lock meeting feature, so only will allow people allowed to join people that is enrolled in the meeting, and it won't allow to join by anybody else. And the ability to set and change user permissions at any time from AWS console. So here we have some of the customers that at the moment they are using Amazon Chime as their internal collaboration tool. So we have a word from some of our customers, for example, Special Key talk about improved efficiency and have less people late to the meetings. And Thincom made it easy for them to host video and conferencing calls and screen share with their vendors and customers. So Amazon Chime is offered in two ways. Amazon Chime is basic, that it's only for attending meetings, not hosting any meetings. It's free and allows you to chat and attend an unlimited number of meetings. So the features from Amazon Chime Pro, you only will pay it, when you are using Pro features that, for example, is hosting a meeting. So you are the host of the meeting, or any of the features like scheduling hosts or recording meetings, or accessing via conference video room systems that you can integrate with your existing conference room video system. And you pay like a number like this per day, and a maximum of 15 per month if you are using like all the Pro features, if you have been hosting meetings in your company. And then we have the third question from the poll, so I'm handing over to Joyce.
Yep, thank you. Okay, so if I just launch the poll. So this is, we're looking at what are the long-term plans for remote working. So again, if I could just ask you to quickly answer that question, that'd be great. Okay. Perfect, thank you. So I'm just going to now end that polling, and if I share the results. So as you see, the main ones coming up are allowing staff who wish to work remotely to continue to do so, and also looking at new tools and processes for remote working. So they're sort of the main two that have come up. So I'll stop sharing those and hand back over. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Joyce. So now I'm moving to, I'm handing over to Francisco, that he will present about Amazon Connect. Okay.
All right. Sorry for that. Thank you, Daniel. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Awesome. Oops. All right. Just give me 1 second here. Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Francisco Gonzalez and I'm a solutions architect for public sector. First, I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you about Amazon Connect today. I'm eager to share a little bit of the story behind Amazon Connect and how we came to market with a simple to use omni-channel contact center offering. We'll talk about why customers are adopting Connect so quickly, the experiences that they're creating, and the benefits that they're seeing. Okay, so first thing to keep in mind is that at Amazon, we strive to be the world's most customer-centric company. Everything that we do starts with what our customer needs, and we work backwards from there to do whatever it takes to ensure our customers are satisfied. Providing exceptional customer service at incredibly large scale that Amazon requires drove us to innovate and build our customer contact center technology from scratch. This technology has allowed Amazon to scale to meet the needs of millions of customers in dozens of languages through customer service centers located in 32 countries. Customer interest in using the same contact center tools that Amazon uses to deliver exceptional customer service inspired us, AWS, to commercialize this technology as a service. We call it Amazon Connect. Amazon Connect is an easy-to-use omni-channel cloud contact center that helps companies provide superior customer service at a lower cost. Over 10 years ago, Amazon's retail business needed a contact center that would give our customers a personalized, dynamic, and natural experiences, but we couldn't find one, so we built it. We now made this available for all businesses, and today, thousands of companies ranging from 10 to tens of thousands of agents use Amazon Connect to serve millions of customers daily. Designed from the ground up to be omni-channel, Amazon Connect provides a seamless experience across voice and chat for your customers and agents. This includes one set of tools for skills-based routing, powerful real-time and historical analytics, and easy-to-use intuitive management tools, all with a pay-as-you-go pricing, which means Amazon Connect simplifies contact center operations, improves agents' efficiency, and lowers cost. You can set up a contact center in minutes that can handle to support millions of customers. Finally, Amazon Connect can scale up and down for needs of any size. This allows for onboarding tens of thousands of agents in response to companies' normal business cycles, or like we're seeing now, unplanned events. Amazon Connect is so simple to set up and use, you can increase your speed of innovation. With only a few clicks, you can set up an omni-channel contact center that agents can begin talking and messaging with customers. You can also reuse the same automated interactions you already have created for voice to create chat flows. Making changes is as easy with an intuitive UI that allows you to create voice and chat contact flows. You can focus on innovation instead of custom development that can potentially take months. In addition, Amazon Connect is an open platform that easily integrates with any system that your contact center relies on. Some examples include CRM or customer relationship management tools and WFM or workforce management tools. Amazon Connect costs 80% less than legacy contact center systems. With Amazon Connect, you pay only for the time you spend interacting with customers, plus any associated telephony and messaging charges. With Amazon Connect, there are no minimum monthly fees, long-term commitments, upfront license charges, and pricing is not based on peak capacity, agent seats, or even maintenance. It is one seamless omni-channel experience for voice and chat, meaning that agents and managers don't have to learn multiple tools. Contact routing, queuing, analytics, and management all within the single user interface. Let's give an example. Capital One uses Amazon Connect to be able to get new features into production in weeks instead of the usual 3 to 6 months that they were experiencing before. And this is what can speed innovation. Now, let's look at a dynamic, personal, and natural experience you can deliver with Amazon Connect. So I'm going to show you an example. So as you can see here, when the call came in, the caller ID was automatically passed and captured by Amazon Connect. Using one of our services called Lambda, you can easily integrate with virtually any backend system. So we look up the caller ID in the CRM system and return the caller's name and the account number, for example. Then we use the account number to look up an account in the flight booking system and return that, the caller had a flight scheduled for today and that was canceled. Using another service called Amazon Lex, you can easily create a chatbot that is dynamic, natural, and personalized. In this example, we didn't need to route the caller to an agent, but naturally, there are times where you will have to connect to them. Let's look now at how we handle that transfer to an agent. What typically happens when you call a contact center, put information in the automated system, and then have to speak with an agent? Most people have frustrating experiences when they have to repeat themselves. Amazon Connect allows you to easily pass context to the agent so the caller has a seamless and consistent experience. In this example, we are sending a transcript of the entire chatbot interaction that happened via voice to the agent so they have the context of what already happened. This way, the agent doesn't have to ask the question, repeat questions. Oh, sorry, the agent doesn't have to ask the customer repeat questions. Now, we also have Amazon Connect Chat. Amazon Connect Chat helps Amazon continue with its mission to be the first truly omni-channel contact center service. So what you build for voice, you can enable for chat. Amazon Connect Chat is built from the ground up as an asynchronous chat, meaning that end customers can return to continue to chat hours later. And the context of the previous chat interaction is provided as a chat stream or as a chat log, for example. This should be very familiar with any messaging experience you've had in the past, just like Facebook, Messenger, or WhatsApp, where you come back and see the full dialogue. Every chat message is encrypted using, it's encrypted end-to-end using your own customer's encryption key. Integration with Amazon Lex, it's tightly coupled out of the box and requires no code in case you want to build a chatbot on top of your chat system. Like all AWS services, pricing for Amazon Connect Chat is also pay as you go with no required long-term commitments, and pricing is per message. Now, we've seen an example how Amazon Connect enables the customer experience and integrates into backend systems to deliver dynamic, natural, and personalized experience. But now, let's take a look at the agent experience. On the right, you can see what we call the Contact Control Panel, or CCP. This is a web app that gives agent the control that they need to handle calls and manage their status. The CCP, or Contact Control Panel, works by just having a browser as a cell phone, which means no desk phone required. From a single interface, agents are able to handle interactions with customers on both voice and chat. In AWS, your data is your data. For example, call recording and chat transcripts are stored in your S3 bucket. This is where you store data, where you can control access and lifecycle policies around that data using the powerful S3 toolset. You can also leverage a number of integrations already available from workforce management vendors to build something like a scheduler system. Amazon Connect comes out of the box with real-time dashboards and historical reports, but you also have the ability to stream Amazon Connect's detailed contact records to the data warehouse of your choice. And finally, as I mentioned earlier, there are software providers that have developed over 185 integrations with Amazon Connect already. And here you can see just a few examples arranged by technology category. And I think that leveraging from these technology partners, you can enable to easily integrate with any kind of software you want to bring forward, such as workforce management or a CRM. Or you can also discover new technologies that to complement your existing contact center, such as voice biometrics or maybe outbound campaign management. And that's it for me. Thank you so much. Over to you, Joyce.
Perfect, that's great, thank you. So now we're going to go into the Q&A side of things. So let me just quickly just pull this up. If I could ask Alan, my colleague, who's been busy working in the background. Alan, have we had any questions at the moment? Hold on 1 second. I think that, let me just bring up so quickly. I know one of the questions that we had was how should a non-for-profit get started in moving to the cloud? Francisco or Daniel, would you like to answer that?
Yes. Well, how non-profit can start the journey to the cloud? They're talking about a specific solution itself, but if I understand that if they want to start their journey, normally any type of companies regarding the type, they will start with small workloads. Like sometimes they start using like shared workspaces or any kind of the solutions that we presented today, and they start with small workloads and they start moving more and more. If you want to know more details about how we can help in this journey, you can get in contact with us after this webinar, or with Derek, that is our account manager here for NPO, that can help you out to start the journey, and we can help you out in the different workloads on how to start this migration if you want.
Okay, perfect. Also, what I was just going to do before moving on to the next questions that have come in is I just really want to quickly launch a poll, which is obviously if you're interested in getting more information and attending the free workshop that AWS are offering, if you could just fill in the poll so we have that information. So I just have that running in the background. That would be very useful. I think then the second question that we had come in was, do I need IT staff when moving to the cloud? I suppose resourcing wise, what would be needed?
Yeah, so I'll take that one. Am I audible? Yes. Okay, good.
Yes.
So I think it's one of those questions where it all depends. I think what's important to note that in the cloud there's different type of services. Then there's like services that would be considered building blocks, right, to build other services, and there are ready-to-use services, right? Let's take Amazon Connect is a ready-to-use service. You can start right away with almost no IT skills. Whereas maybe if you want to leverage from some of the building block type of services, then you definitely need some help to get there. But as we kind of already mentioned before, we do have an extent network of partners that can help you get started. And the beauty of the skills in the cloud is that, in my opinion, because I come from the old world, I used to manage data centers, these are like much simpler to grasp. I believe it's a lot easier to manage something in the cloud versus something on premise. So I think that will be my overall answer. Like there's two kinds: building blocks and ready-to-use services. The more you use ready-to-use services, the less IT staff you need. The more you use building blocks, the more kind of like people that know about IT will be required. But then again, you got partners, and then again, these skills are not necessarily equally complex as they are with the on-premise equivalent.
Perfect, great, thank you. And then another question that came in was, how much should I expect to pay per year? the burning question always money?
I'll also take half of it. Let maybe Daniel answer part of it, but I think it's super important to note that we do keep our pricing available in our website. So everything that we have in AWS, it's already there in the public internet. Like you don't need I mean, we can help you estimating depending on your workload, but I think the most important point here is that you can go and find out pricing right away with no dependencies. That's what we do. We're very transparent with pricing, and it's available on our website. Now, when it comes to how much, well, we will have to size your infrastructure. It could be a couple of cents, or it could be $1 billion. Like we have customers that spend literally a few cents a month, and customers which will spend a lot more. So it will be mostly about kind of like understanding your existing workloads and try to map that into what it will look like in the cloud. Now, there's two things that happen when you do this. When you move it to the cloud, some customers prefer to move things as is, and they don't really do a lot of re-architecting. And that's kind of like relatively easier to find out what the cost would be. But a lot of customers will take that as is movement and then optimize it so that they can optimize the cost even further. So this is just to give you some idea of how it's not a very easy question to answer, but it's also not very difficult to get started and making these calculations.
Perfect.
Do you want to? Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, Daniel, I didn't know, was there anything else you wanted to add, or okay with that?
No, it's okay. It's very good. The pricing is public, as I said. We have some estimations that you can have for different services that are included in Chime. That is like 15 per user maximum per month. And for workspaces, it's similar. Like the workspaces pricing, I mean, it depends on the size of the instance that you will provision. For example, if the smaller ones, it will start between, auto stop is $8 per month, and always on, that is always running, is around $27 per month per user. This includes the licensing and everything else. So one desktop fully, it will cost like $27 per month. So it depends on each one of the services. Today, as we were talking, like workspaces, Chime and Connect, they have all the cases have pricing as pay as you go. So you will pay only for the number of users that will use the service. If you have half of the users now, you will pay half. So it's very transparent, and we will invite you to check the pricing on the AWS website. We can share some links for this as well. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. And then another question we had, it's a bit of a longer one, so I'm going to read this out. So, hi guys, I spoke to a company called Avran who are utilizing Alexa as a natural language IVR interface. This seems like an excellent idea, as utilizing its intelligence could create a really intelligent MI for an operation. Do Amazon support this innovation, or did I miss this earlier?
Second one. So we obviously we support that. We not exactly with Alexa per se. We use a service called Amazon Lex, which is powered by the same technology that powers Alexa. So essentially, what happens is that we spoke a little bit about that contact flow where you saw a customer call in and the quote unquote IVR responding. Well, that was something that's powered with the same technology that powers Alexa, which is called Amazon Lex, and that's our chatbot solution. So the interesting bit here is that you get to design a chatbot, but then this chatbot can be put in front of a website. It can be put in front of an IVR. It can be put in front of some sort of chat mechanism. So yeah, definitely we support that, and that's something that I encourage you to investigate to see how that can add value. I see a lot of customers, especially now that there's a like kind of like a increase of volume in terms of the number of calls, and they're using this technology to do, for example, maybe triaging of the calls, or maybe they're using this technology to you know, kind of like ask the user, hey, how can I help you? And based on what they say, then we route them to the right place, instead of, you know, press 1 for this, press 2 for this, press 3 for this, and then, you know, you go multiple layers. Like, no one likes that experience. But using voice, it could be a lot simpler just to ask a question, and depending on the answer, we route you to the right person with the right skills, for example. And that's something we definitely support by using Amazon Lex and Amazon Connect.
Perfect, great, thank you. And then another question we had was, can AWS work alongside Microsoft Teams and Office 365?
Yes, it will work. I understand that for Microsoft Teams and any other collaboration software that it can be used on Amazon Workspaces and Upstream 2.0. But regarding Office 365, I understand that recently the licensing was changed, so only on environments that are using a dedicated host for hosting workspaces can be used. So as long as the licensing is permitted in workspaces, it will work like a regular desktop. So any software like you use in a regular desktop can be used in Amazon Workspaces or Upstream.
Okay, great. And I think that was all of the questions that we had for now. And obviously, as when I was speaking to Francisco and Daniel earlier on, very much saying that, you know, there's an awful lot to be covered in this time. And really, this is just very a high level taster. So, you know, please do take up the offer to, you know, to explore further and get more information. And if there's any questions that you think of afterwards that you want to find out about, you know, please get in touch with us and we will happily pass them on and get them answered back to you. So I would just like to say thank you very much for everybody for attending today and your attention and your questions. And thank you very much to Francisco and Daniel for their interesting presentation. So thank you very much. And we will be sending out a feedback form afterwards and further information. So yeah, thank you and take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.